If you're an average player, you want to be left alone, all right, because you want to be able to slide by. If you're a good player, you want to be coached. If you're a great player, you want the coach to tell you the truth every day. Did I hustle on that play? Did I make the right read? Did I play the guy with the right leverage? You want to know every play, because you know why? They want to be perfect. Everybody here makes a choice to do one of those three things.
Welcome to the GOAT Consulting Podcast, a podcast dedicated to people striving to be a GOAT, the greatest of all time, serving it up in a way that you can get it in all stages of life.
Hey, I'm Colby Gibbonville, and welcome to another episode of the GOAT Consulting Podcast right here in VCE Productions in studio in Nashville, Tennessee. Always at the studio, at table in the studio is my good friend, the CEO and founder of the GOAT family of brands, Tyler Burnett, kicking the Goat Turf brand today. That's kind of an old school Goat Turf.
Yeah, with
a
couple goats on there.
The mini goats.
The lifestyle brand that he is. To the left, wearing the Nashville, what is that, the soccer team?
It is a soccer team.
Nashville soccer team, your soccer season ticket holder.
Yes, I am.
He is the calming force to our show. Have you whispered on anybody recently on LinkedIn?
Yeah, a little bit.
He is the LinkedIn whisperer, all the way from Brentwood, my good friend and fellow content creator, John Byers. This is the GOAT Consulting Podcast. We serve it up in a way that you can get it. The other people that serve it up in a way that you can get it are right here in Nashville as well. They're Dev Digital. They do all things digital. They are the preferred Google vendor of choice. If you need anything done in terms of platform development and in terms of app development, maybe just a little social media that could kick out some messaging. We live in the influencer market today, so make sure you check them out. Dev Digital, they're our good friends. We always focus on the GOAT, or the greatest of all time. In sports, it's easy to see. It's people that are recognized for their greatness. But in business, it's people that compete on unique perspective, unique education, and unique experience. What they do gives them energy, and it gives other people energy. It creates new levels of challenge and new levels of opportunity. And we are going to talk about somebody today that's been in his 20s, his 30s, his 40s, his 50s, and is a great example of a GOAT in sports and in business.
Yeah.
It's our good friend, Andre Agassi.
Yes.
Did I do that right?
I think
It's been
so.
a long time since I've visited Andre. I used to want to play tennis as a kid. Did you know that Andre was asked by HBO in a series? They said, why did you play tennis if you hated it so bad? He hated playing tennis.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk
know that.
about that today. But today you decided you want to dig in something called image management.
Yes.
And we decided to use Andre Agassi as a way to talk about that. And image management is an interesting concept. I would tie it to personal branding, but we're going to set the stage a little bit by talking about Andre, the things that he did to build an image.
Yes.
And the lessons that he learned along the way, and maybe how they tie right back into what we're doing in our life and business relationships today.
Yeah, that was good. And it may,
Thank you.
What you've heard up to this point, it may be a bit of a curveball for you when it comes to image management. And I think Andre would share this same thought. So here's a little bit of background on our friend, Mr. Agassi, one of the all-time tennis greats. I mean, if you don't know him, look up Andre Agassi. It's some beautiful pictures of him pre-1990 that are really fantastic.
Acid wash jeans.
One of the things that acid wash
Jean
jean
shorts.
shorts.
Excuse me.
Yes, and one of the things
Shorts.
that was so well synchronized. Thank you. It was
Buy me a Coke.
unknown to the world that he started balding early on in life. In fact, right after high school, and he became best friends with a glorious mullet wig. If you haven't seen this, you just need to pause the episode right here and go wherever you're listening, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Google, Amazon, Spotify, Apple, tell all your friends, your lovers to sign up, leave us a comment. But if you haven't seen this picture, pause it, go check it out. And here's a cool story now that you're back. The night before the 1990 French Open, he uses the wrong conditioner in his wig. I guess you have to clean these things.
It was pert.
Yes, that's right. He uses the wrong conditioner, and it starts to disintegrate on him.
You remember pert?
I do. I'm trying to move on, though, from that.
God bless Colby Gibbonville.
He began to pray. He called his brother, like just in trauma, prayed with him, prayed that the wig would not fall off the next day, completely unconcerned with the fact that he was set to win the French Open.
Yeah.
And he was the darling for that event. He ended up losing terribly the next day, and here's why, I think. And I think here's what he might tell us. He had too much of a focus on image and not enough focus on authenticity. Too much image creates a deficit in bringing our heart to our life, business, and relationships.
Okay.
What do you think, Colby?
You know, you think about image and what image meant in the 90s versus what image meant.
Well, I was one, so let's elaborate a little bit.
Was it Canon? I think he was sponsored by Nike and Canon said their what do you call it?
Image is everything.
Yeah, that was their shtick.
Mission.
Image is everything. That's what they said. And I thought,
we grew up believing that.
Is that true?
Yeah, we grew up in a generation where, well, think about it. When you went to go to a high school dance, did you care about how you looked?
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And so, I mean, when you went on a date, did you step out in front of that mirror 15 different times and check that outfit? Was it the latest brands that
I didn't need to do that
you had on?
According to Business Insider, it takes 0.1 seconds to form a lasting impression of a stranger.
Look, I mean, 2 for 2, dude.
And yes.
So I want you to elaborate a little bit. Can you have an important image or care about how you look and still be authentic too? Like, do you have to trade one for the other?
I don't think you have to.
Okay.
Here
that's what I was picking up. That's why when he said that,
he does.
I sensed that in you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But here's what I do know. We cannot be fully focused on authenticity or heart when image is also a focus.
Okay.
It distracts us from bringing our full selves. Now, here I looked at, and people totally buy into it, right? I agree that point, some seconds, that we form an image of somebody. Is that important? Probably, but that's why image management companies make millions and millions of dollars every year. And I looked up, what is image management? And here's one of the definitions that I got. Very disappointed in this, by the way. Image management is the ongoing process of evaluating and controlling the impact of your appearance on yourself and others. That increases your confidence, capability, credibility, and productivity.
Why are you disappointed with that?
Image management contributes to your continuing success and simplifies your life. Bull crap.
No way.
That is what Agassi would have told us pre-1990. What would he tell us post-1990 when he finally took the wig off?
That should have been the name of his autobiography.
Wig off.
I took the wig off.
Taking the wig off. He would tell us we have more to gain when we're more concerned with how. Let me reread this. I think I'm reading it wrong. Image management. Here it is.
Take the wig off.
Post 1990, he would say image management is being more concerned with how things look than how things really are.
Now, see, I can buy into that.
That's what he would tell us.
That's what we used to call eye wash in baseball. He coaches around and you're getting after it. You're working out hard. He steps out and you're like, oh my God, I'm so done with this.
We called those people half-speed heroes.
I like that too.
Read the definition again. I don't have a problem with any of that. What part do you not like? That is, what's the old adage? Dress for the job you want,
not the one you have.
What's wrong with that?
Maybe it's because that's a short-term gain. Because it's not our true, authentic self. It's like
you
saying...
You still can be your authentic self in that definition.
It's like in the courting...
Read the definition again, piece by piece.
Hold on, let me finish this really powerful thought I just formulated. It's like in the dating or courting relationship, whether it's with, your future spouse or with a job or whatever it is.
Okay.
If you are not being who you are.
So the first time that you went out with Vanessa, you said, hey, here's the total mess that John Byers really is.
I'm going to take my shirt off so you can see what this really
Maybe
looks
not the first time, but there is no pretending that authenticity didn't have to come out, and we didn't continue on in our relationship based on an image. And
I could see if you wore a wig or if you borrowed somebody else's shoes and pants to be cool, but I think you just using what you got and trying to make yourself look good, to feel good, to perform good I don't see a problem in it. If I lose 20 pounds.
There's not a problem in it as long as you're more concerned with image than heart.
So that's your takeaway.
You
can focus on image, but know where your heart is.
And speaking of which, what would Agassi tell us? He took the wig off, and he went on to win 6 Grand Slams and a gold medal. That's the end of his story.
I like
when
that.
the wig was off, he shaved his head. He was exactly who he was. He didn't have to worry about his wig falling off mid-match. And he goes on to be one of the greatest tennis players of all time.
Okay, now you're starting. All right, I'm getting some traction here.
Following you.
Can you please read that definition then one more time?
Image management is the ongoing process of evaluating and controlling, which I just have a problem with that word, the impact of your appearance on yourself and others.
Okay.
Which makes me think maybe we're looking at the wrong things. I'll go on. That increases your confidence, capability, credibility, and productivity. Image management contributes to your continuing success and simplifies your life. And it closes, I didn't say this earlier, it closes with, your image is you. Nope. That's absolutely not right. I think the worst part of that, and I didn't read that earlier, the worst part of the whole thing is the last line. Your image is you. I hope so, but I don't think that's always true.
Take the wig off.
Take off the wig.
Take off the wig.
Your image is you, Agassi. Do you believe that? I think he did at one point, but that's not what he would tell us today.
Take the wig off.
It's interesting.
Let me tell you something that I did, since there's an uncomfortable pause here.
A lot of gray area in there, I think.
One of the things I remember growing up, I don't have a lot of great memories with my dad. We've probably talked about this. One of the memories that I do have that's not good is oftentimes when we were walking in and around Atlanta, there would be a homeless person, and they'd ask him for money, and he would always tell him to get a job. That was his word. Like, I never saw him give any money to any homeless person. Don't send me your hate mail. Like, that's not, whatever you believe about doing that or not. A few years, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I thought I would think that often when someone would ask me for money, and I didn't like it because it's not who I am. And so I decided at that time, I've never told anybody this, by the way, not outside of my wife or my kids because they're with me. I decided I was going to go and get $51 bills, and I was going to keep them in my car. So anytime I ever saw somebody, whether they asked me or not, on the side of the road, I would have $1 or $2 to give them. Which, by the way, when you go to the bank and you're a 40-year-old guy and you ask for $51 bills, like that image that they get of me is probably not great. I kept it in the car, and I would do it, and I still do it to today, to remind my heart that it's more than image, and that it's important to me to see beyond the image of others. And sometimes I think I don't even do it for them as much as I do it for me. So that was a practical takeaway for me when I think about this and how that has applied to my life.
I love that conversation. I've kind of gone back and forth 100 times on what do you do there.
I made it about that. If we're talking about the same thing, I made it about how does that impact them? And then I stopped thinking that and thought, how does it impact me? What does it remind me of who I want to be and who I don't want to be? That's that may be the biggest reason I did it.
So what are they going to use that $1 for?
Has nothing to do with me.
You don't even care about that.
Because it has more to do with my heart than whatever they use it for.
What do you think?
I'm going to walk you through just a defining moment in my life that I think encapsulates what we're talking about here, and then I'll leave it for you to decide. I was born to 2 teachers that taught me the way you take on the world is to become a teacher, marry a teacher, teach other people, and I did that. And then as you evolve, you want things like lifestyle and freedom, and you got to figure out how to reinvent yourself. And so I was at a conference somewhere, and I heard this guy speak. His name was Billy Jack Tarleton.
Ooh, I like that name.
It's incredible. He's an incredible speaker. Who's a
Billy Jack. I keep telling Sarah I'm going to name our next. If we have a son, I'm going to name him Billy.
Name it Billy Jack.
Billy
Dave.
Goat. Billy
Billy
Goat Burnett.
Goat.
Billy Goat. That's
Billy
beautiful.
Goat. I mean,
So-
hit
sorry,
home
made me
runs,
think about that.
hit home runs at MTSU. But he had on suede boots,
course he did.
jeans, white shirt, camel hair blazer. I'd never seen this before in my life. And I said to myself, in terms of image, I said to myself, that is what I want to wear in work for the rest of my life. Boots, white shirt, button down, pressed, camel hair blazer.
Why are you not wearing?
You're not far off right now.
Well, I know. Because I'm not 30 anymore. When I first saw that, I've kind of evolved.
Oh, gotcha.
But when I talked to him, and to your point, John, he had the heart of a teacher. And so what I think he did that you're talking about is he did know where his heart was, and he dressed in a way that allowed other people to see his heart. And so when I saw that, I asked him why he dressed that way, and he said he feels like it is the most comfortable for him and most approachable for other people.
So a camel hair jacket. Enlighten me, please.
Oh, brother. And then,
Is this like
you know what I'm talking
camel?
about?
Is this like a hair
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
jacket?
No,
like
no,
a
it's
fur?
real
real
thin.
thin,
It's-
real fine.
Okay.
It's
Think more like microfiber-ish.
I'm thinking he's coming in this big fur coat. That's what I'm thinking about.
That would be
thinking,
glorious.
How in the hell did you get camel hair on a jacket? Is what I'm thinking.
Here's
Well, finish
is
your
a Goat
story.
Consulting
well,
podcast.
and so I think to John's point and to your point, I think you can marry both if you understand why. You think about Johnny Cash. Why did he wear black? Why did he wear the man in black?
I don't know, but I love it.
Well, the reason that he did is because here's what he said. He said the minute that we understand as people that there's good and bad in everybody, then you'll stop judging people the way that you do. And that's why he decided to wear it. There's a good Johnny Cash and there's a bad Johnny Cash.
I just, right before we came in here, my friend Steve, who, Colby, I know you know, we were talking, and
Steve.
he actually texted me, and he didn't even know we were going to talk about this, but he sends me this bottle of bourbon. He was like, it's from California, and he says, I love this label, but it's probably crap bourbon. And I thought, that fits so perfect
For the image.
with this episode. And
Yeah.
I said, image. That's why image management companies make millions of dollars every year, because, yep, most wines with cool labels taste like week-old urine. And I thought, that's going in the episode. I'm going to put this right here. I'm not even going to talk about it, but I'm going to put
How
it.
is Steve?
He's fantastic.
I love Steve. I want to see Steve again.
We need to have him on. We need to have him on the episode.
Steve is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
awesome.
don't know that I know, Steve.
He is.
Oh,
you need
Steve,
to.
Steve, everybody needs to know. Everybody needs a Steve in their life. Tell him I said hello, please.
I will do that. I'm going to send him this episode.
You should. But the Billy Jack Tarleton moment for me was such a cool moment because I think up until that, and John, I think this is part of our 20s and our 30s and our 40s and our 50s.
We buy into the image management lie.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
I
we
think
do.
we're searching for an identity.
Ask Agassi if he bought into the lie.
But people that are truly into their own heart are searching for an identity. And when you see it and you say, that's it, then that's when you know it. How else can you know it if you don't see it and go, well, that's what I want?
And that is exactly the problem. I think if we're pointing to something else, saying that's the identity I want, we're not being authentic.
Why do you wear that soccer shirt?
Let me read. That's what I was going to say a second ago. I'm not even going to talk about this. I'm just going to put it right here. I don't know how this even made it to this page, but it seems like it fits. So don't question me on it. I'm just kidding. I looked up hypocrisy. The origin of the word hypocrisy, which is from Greek, of the Greek language, it means acting theatrically, pretending to be someone publicly that you don't intend to be privately. That's what Agassi would say. That's where I lost my way. And until I learned to be publicly who I wanted to be privately, until I was my most authentic self, that I didn't I wasn't going to win in life, in business, and relationships.
I guess that's why there's such consternation for me here, because I knew from a very early age that this is really interesting, that I wanted to coach and teach on an ever-increasing stage. And here's what's interesting, to your point about your heart. In the last 6 months, and part of it is through some of the things that you and I have done together, and part of it is this conversation. This just happened to me, is I said it's no longer for me about coaching and teaching on an ever-increasing stage. It's about, for me, the meaningful connections and relationships that I can make and the impact that I can create from that.
You took the wig off.
I took
You shifted.
I did.
You
I took
shifted
the wig
from
off.
you
40s to
shifted
50s.
from
40s to
image,
50s.
image to authenticity.
From 40s to 50s.
You're right.
So-
How much do I owe you? How much? How much?
It's going to be 50 grand.
I wrote down a couple practicals and then I'm done for this episode because I'm just getting it. This
Well,
this
and
episode.
before you go, can I make one other thing?
Yeah, bring it.
Why do you
My
think
goat is Billy Jack Tarleton. By the
Why
way.
do you think Coach Pete would not let us have facial hair except for our mustache? This has to be something with image, right? We were not allowed to have facial hair except for a
The
mustache.
better question is, except for the mustache. That's
So
that's
every
even a whole nother
so
topic.
every year.
Wait, is there an answer?
So every no,
I love it. I love it.
but that's
we gotta
what,
live
but
the
that's-
question. We're gonna
that's
live
right.
that question.
But so every spring break at MTSU, we all grew a spring break stash. So over spring break, every player had a stash, and sometimes mine happened to be a Fu Manchu.
I can't believe we get paid
Of
for
course
this.
it was. So
Seriously
I
though,
love it.
why did he do it?
I,
Why did he do it, John?
Wait, why did he do what?
Why did he not allow us to have facial hair?
I thought you just said he did.
We can
just
only
a
have a
mustache.
mustache.
That's facial hair.
No. You could not have anything right here. He would literally bring you a razor and make you dry shave.
we would be doing you a disservice if we answered that question.
I have to know.
You do have to know.
I want to
But
know.
I don't know.
You do have to know, but it is not for
I'm
us
calling
to answer.
Coach McGuire.
Call Coach, yes.
Hold on, practically.
Will you really please call Coach McGuire and ask him that?
Yeah.
Can I call him right now?
I know,
Yes.
I know him.
Call him.
Go ahead.
Call him.
Go ahead.
This is the first time ever we're doing a phone call on
So
air.
while McGuire's getting on the phone,
And put it on speaker. And just tell him you're going to put him on speaker.
a couple practical things.
Sorry.
I know. It's all day, every day.
Well, now we're listen.
This is our first call.
Here's the practical. Something that recenters your heart, your authenticity.
Billy Jack Tarleton.
Maybe it's a gratitude journal. Maybe it's putting $1 bills in your car to give them, because that recenters my authenticity in my heart.
Okay.
Whatever that is for you, find out. Try it. Practice it. That's the practical for me.
There is nothing wrong with evaluating and controlling the impact and appearance that you make with other people if you're doing it from a place that truly is your heart. Is that right?
Not sure about that.
So
I think the heart would say image is less important.
So then what's supposed to guide you with
I
that?
think you're going to have to go back and listen to this episode.
But the bottom line is to take the wig off.
Take off the wig.
How important is image, though? Well, we talked about this a little bit about you and whatnot. Do you think
We are beyond.
when you go to a meeting, do you dress up and whatnot? I mean,
Do you wear different things for different people?
are you
Probably.
your authentic self?
You guys are missing the whole point here.
I don't know. Are we?
I'm still. I think this is
my point. Maybe
I think this has been a really, really good episode.
It is. I like it.
And even though we couldn't get Coach McGuire on the phone, and we still don't know
He's
why
coaching baseball.
we still don't know why Coach Pete would allow mustaches over any other facial hair, and we do know now that the reason that he took the wig off was because of Pert and the damage that Pert did to his hair.
Yes.
This is the GOAT Consulting Podcast. I am Colby. That is Tyler. That's John, and I don't even know what happened here, but we are going to take the wig off and move forward. This is the GOAT Consulting Podcast.
Boom.